Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, it is episode 13 of The Rant.
The Rant.
And today, we're going to be discussing a whole manner of things around mental health and physical health. So hopefully you can join me right about now. Hello, welcome to the show. I hope you're all doing good. My name's Jade. This is the start of the week here on How to App on iOS. And it is that time of the week again for The Rant, where I am going to sit here and not necessarily rant today or be funny, or maybe I will be funny, or maybe I won't. Who knows? I don't really know what's going to come out of my mouth today because guess what? It's not very well planned at all, this show. It just kind of Houdinis. It materializes. And am I always right? Absolutely not. I'm most of the time wrong. And that's a good thing. So today we're going to be talking about all manner of things around mental health and physical health and loneliness and, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to tell you a story. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you a little story and we're going to hang out and have a time, yeah? Now, I've gone ahead and posted links in the description. I couldn't do it, obviously, for every country, but there are links below for Lifeline in the UK, the US, and Australia, if you need to reach out and talk to somebody, because you should. Yeah? It's hard sometimes to do that. Trust me, I know. And I'm going to tell you how I know this. Because I can only go on my experiences, yes? Only my experiences. I can't go on your experiences. But the really good thing is that the title of this show is You Are Not Alone. And we will start at that point in a moment. Let me say hello to everybody. Hi, Mr. Smith. Good to see you. Audible Video, Rise of Dark Leela, Pookian. Thomas, did I say Thomas already? Thomas Christ. Feisty Feather, Joe Glenn. What'd you say? I lost an animation clip that took me 2 days. How did you... I don't know. I thought you were doing okay with it. Something must happen in between. Mateus, let's see. So Joe, hi Joe, I hope your day gets better. Hi Barry, hi Audible Video, Conspiracy Music. Who else do I see in my looking glass? I see Kim was right up the top and says she's doing a blanket Hello Fest today, which is okay. You can do that as well. Let me make sure I've got everybody. I've covered people. Yes, we all good? Thanks, Thomas. Yes, welcome our Wart Warriors. You can become a Wart Warrior for $1 a month and get custom emojis and stuff. And November, we're going to do a bonus show as well. So straight after this show today as well, I will be sending you over to Pete Johns, who's doing a Halloween Your Music Live. So I'll dump you over there so you can go and hang out and watch that. Hi, Tony, Howie, what's going on? Okie doke. So I'm going to play something a little bit different. So you'll see at the top of the pinned comment today as well. Normally I'll feature an artist, but I'm doing something a little bit different today. And because this topic is important to talk about, very important to talk about, I'm sacrificing the show, right? Because I know I'll get a copyright claim for it because it's a piece of my stuff that I'm going to play at the end of the show. And it has some music that is somebody else's, but it's really important that I play it. So I'm sacrificing this show for the better of mental health and well-being. So that's out the way. I know I'm going to get a copyright claim. And before I do kick off, I want to thank everybody for hanging out yesterday on the opening hour and hanging out for the Faith No More live show. Man, it's not often that I will say this. I'm quite conservative with this stuff. But that was one of the best performances I think I've ever done on this channel. You know, some days you just wake up and you open your mouth and start singing and it just goes boom and you go, whoa, where's that come from? Well, that was one of those last night or yesterday. Sometimes these things just happen and you just go, I'll take that one. I'll notch that one down. So you won't hear me say that again on this channel. Hello, Wayne. Good to see you. I see people are piling in now. There's Jenny Jolivet. Mateus, I think said hi to you. Thanks, Barry. If I missed anyone, I can see you all coming in now. We're building up. All right, this is an important, thanks, Audible. This is an important show, all right, today. So, the title of the show is You Are Not Alone. Now, I'm sure that at times we've all felt incredibly alone. And it's a growing concern with today's society, loneliness. I mean, people talk about depression and anxiety and stuff like that so much that I think we tend to forget about loneliness. It's on the grow. It is on the grow. And it's one of those things that it's hard to collect stats about because you're talking about people who are incredibly isolated. And you can be incredibly isolated at the same time, be surrounded by people making noise continuously around you. Yeah? Hi, Gary Hubbs and Heather. But loneliness is a thing. And I know when I was younger, I would think about loneliness, and in my mind, the first thing that would come to me was elderly people in a nursing home. But it's not the case. Like, you can be social with people all the time and be out having drinks with them, and they may come across like a social butterfly, but on the inside, they're lonely as hell. They go home to this empty void. And, I think during the inconvenience of 2020, I think the loneliness thing really got compounded and drummed in home. I think that's why there was a really big fear around that. Not only were people angry about what was going on, but there was a real fear about not seeing people and being isolated and cut off. So loneliness is definitely a really hardcore thing that, factors in to things like depression and anxiety and our mental health, and can even be a thing that comes from physical health problems. Because I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And I'm sure if there's anybody out there who has, who is dealing with ongoing physical problems, loneliness and isolation is a really big thing that happens, because not only do you go through this issue of dealing with health and this constant daily pain and pain management and worry about, are you going to get better, and treatment and all this kind of stuff, and the affordability of treatment depending where you live in the world, because, not all of us have universal health care and such like that. But what tends to happen is when you're sick and you're not getting any better and you're constantly sick, that you feel like you're starting to become that illness. That's all you talk about. That's all you are now. And then the more you need to talk about it, people disappear from your life. They move on. And not even out of spite a lot of the times. It's not even like they're doing it to hurt you. It's people themselves feel like heartbroken to be around their friend that they used to be around, who was so vibrant and healthy all the time, and now that person's constantly sick, and they don't know how to cope, because our brains, we just don't understand enough of our brains, do we? Like, we think we know it all. We can put people in space and we can make phones that we can make music on, but we know fuck all about our brains still. It's only it feels like it's only the last 20 years that we actually talk about mental health these days. It used to be you just put somebody in a foam room and electrify them, and that was the cure. But but it's one of the things with having physical health problems that if you talk about it, which you should, because it's better out than in, that you tend to look around after a while and go, where'd everyone go? Why'd everyone leave me? I thought talking about it and being honest about it would be a way to but no. And I have experience in that, talking about stuff like that, and then all of a sudden I look around and go, are people actually deleting me from Facebook? People I've known forever. I wonder why. And then I got butthurt about it, right? And I started contacting them going, did you delete me? And fully, some of them didn't get back. And then some of them were just brutally honest and went, yes, I can't watch you deteriorate. And you know what? I accept that. Probably many, many years ago, I wouldn't. I'd be all, but no, because at the same time, people have got other shit going on in their brains too that maybe they're just not able to cope at this time because there's so much stuff going on, so many flashing lights and so many things going on in life. We all have these things. And that comes back to you're not alone. I mean, that's the thing. Even though we're all incredibly unique and individual, we definitely have similarities. Like we all have the same color blood. And we all, have to cope with monumental fucktards in our life. And we all have to ride the waves of ups and downs, that come our way all the time, no matter what. When things are going good, doesn't mean tomorrow it's going to be bad. But then when things are bad, it doesn't mean that tomorrow is going to be not good, yeah? So why did I title the show You're Not Alone? Because it's interesting. When I think I've mentioned this on one of these shows before. And hello, let me catch up with a few people. Mixed Club, Many Vibes, hello. Greg O'Sullivan, if I've missed you, I'm trying to keep up. When I came out as trans in It was before that, actually. It was like when the internet first started. And I first got on the internet, I was like, I need to work out what I am. What am I? Where do I fit? Why does my brain think this way? Why do I think I'm a girl? And I found this website called You Are Not Alone. And it was specifically made for trans people. But all these years on now, I look back at it and there was so much more to that website. There's so much more to it. It was more than just like I had found an answer that there were other people like this in this specific genre of issue in the huge, vast category of issues that our brains create. But not only that, it was so much broader because that is it. We aren't alone. We are more similar than what we think, even though we're unique. I know it's such a dichotomy. And that has just stayed with me forever and ever. But at the time, I still wasn't able, my brain wasn't, it was way too smooth, my brain at that point. I was a completely different person. I was a very angry person, trying to find the answers to what was my problem, and outwardly putting out very angry things to protect what was inside. But, yeah, that website was very profound. Now, when I talk about this website, youarenot.alone.com, I actually never really hung out on it that much. It was enough just to read that title and see that was enough. I flicked through it and went, oh, my God, there's thousands of other trans people. Wow. Are you kidding me? Then if that's the case, there's got to be heaps more than that because this is just a small collection of people. Does it still exist, Thomas? I don't even know. Let's have a look. You put the link there. You are not alone. Did I already look at this at another show? I don't even remember. Oh, no, it's not there. I can't find it. Oh, maybe you did. I can't seem to. No, maybe it's not. let me do this. You are not alone. It looks like they've taken it down. Long gone. Well, there's actually mental health places now called this. If I do a search here, look, there's even this place here in Australia called Sane. Sane is a group that helps people with S-word prevention. And it looks like that's their catchphrase. So, I don't have my screen working. Sorry about that, guys. This is what happens when you reboot your iPad these days. It does this dumb. There we go. Boom. So Sane Australia is one of these companies, and they do that. See, that's how they may have spelt it. You are with a you are. I can't even remember. You are not alone. I've got a Michael Jackson song. Well, that's not what I wanted. Absolutely not. Well, that went down a path I didn't expect. There you go. But those words, let's get back to where I should be. Those words rang true further on down the road for me when I really needed them, okay? Because after I came out, I thought everything was going really smooth. Everything was going really smooth. Sure, you got bumps everywhere in the road, but you overcome them, you jump over them, you keep skipping along, everything's cool. And most of you know the story from me, but I'm going to reiterate it because there's some darkness that I haven't really talked about before, and I think it's good to embrace the darkness and talk about it. So, all throughout my life, I've never really been somebody who got crippled with depression or anxiety. Like, I was always pretty confident, even though on the inside, for many, many years, I was, protecting this thing that I didn't want to get out. And it was a very taxing thing on the brain to control, to have to live two lives and constantly be thinking, I hope nobody sees this part of me because I've got to protect it. So that's why I have a song from my music called Supergirl Syndrome, because that's what it felt like. Every day was like jumping into a phone booth and changing costumes and then jumping out and then back in before anyone could catch on and get caught. Yeah? Hello, Viv Sparrow. So my brain was already doing like backflips and flipping out and constantly trying to keep ahead of the game. But yeah, when I come out, all that was lifted. But then everything else, there was new problems. There was horrible people that just wanted to say all this horrible shit, and not like behind my back. I could have coped with that. I could have coped with walking around and having somebody say something behind my back because I can't see it. But it wasn't like that. People just felt the need to like come up in my face and go, "You fucking freak!" And I'm like, "What? What's going on? What is up with you weirdos?" But my reaction was anger, and I used to like lash out and just punch them in the face. And I had to control that, and I had to get on top of that. Because anger was the thing that I used to use to deal with depression or anxiety, and that was my go-to, because that's what we do. We find things as people to cope the best way we think we know we can. That seems like the best way to do it. And for me at that time, fighting back was the only way to deal with it, because I couldn't afford to be sad or depressed or anxious about anything. But it took over, right? It took over, and eventually I got so crippled with not being able to leave the house because of what people were like outside that I just shut down. I just completely shut down, and I locked myself down, and I didn't leave the house. And then I started understanding what loneliness was, because you feel like you can't assimilate because somebody's always out there gonna like try and destroy you. All right. And it wasn't until, as I've said before, that I actually started helping other people and started doing volunteer work that helped me get out of that situation and start seeing people not as monsters anymore. Because I built in my head that people were just dog shit. Let me just fix my camera for a second. There we go. I just built in my head that people were absolute dog shit. So, but then as soon as I started helping people, I started to get a confidence again in humans and trusting them again, right? And that loneliness started to dissipate. So, jump forward. I start playing music. Everything's all good. I'm touring around as a trans person, got music out, being accepted everywhere. Everything was on fire. I had a really good run for a really good amount of time. I liked the way I looked. Everything was kind of cool. But, you know, there's these waves, you know, that come along and sometimes you're not prepared for them. You get wiped out. And that's when in 2015 I got a wipe out and got incredibly sick. And that's when... Man, I can't even tell you the lows. Well, I'm going to tell you, actually. What am I saying? I can't even tell you. That's why I'm here, to tell you. Some of the lows that I've been through. And again, I'm not here to tell you that I'm special because I've gone through any of these. I'm sure you all identify with this. Like, this isn't special. None of this is special. We are special as individuals. We all have worth and value. But these experiences, not the same, not exactly the same. And not all the time can we absolutely understand every circumstance that we go through. But I think we can empathize. Yeah, because most of us, unless you're a politician or somebody in power, you have no feelings. You're a sociopath. And you just, like, don't give a fuck about anybody. Like, those people aren't human. So we don't care about them. I shouldn't say that. They go on the pile. We don't care about them. But, right? But we've all at some stage gone through, and you may be going through it right now. Right? You may have gone through it last year. You may have gone through it very young. But we've all had these waves hit us and just wipe us out. And it could be something you can get over that's very quick. It could be something that's ongoing. 5 years, could be a year, could be 3 months. It could be ongoing. It could be, it feels like it's never going to end. But let me tell you about the end. The only time shit is ever going to end is when you're dead. Right? So, while you're alive, the possibility of things getting better is always there. Always there. How you get there is, I don't know. It's how you get there. It's a combination of things that are beyond anyone's control, apart from, like, maybe reaching out to somebody as help for somebody, or being somebody who's need of help reaching out. Right? It's not depressing that I see. I know. I'm happy that I know that eventually I'm going to be dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be dead. And then I'm not going to have to care. I'm not going to have to care because I'm dead. It doesn't mean I have a death wish. But it's kind of a relief. You know, it takes a lot of energy to think all the time and push on and do all this stuff. You know, get up each day, sit in front of a camera, talk a load of nonsense. All right. So when things come at you and hit you by surprise and knock you off your feet, it's full on. It's I thought myself I had the tools to be able to cope. But I didn't. Yeah, I absolutely didn't have them. So when it came along, I did my best to keep positive through a lot of it, but it just kept compiling. Like, they kept coming and saying, well, you're sick. And there's this thing, and then there's this thing, and now you have to take these drugs, and now they're going to fuck with these drugs, and it just kept coming and coming and coming over months and months, and I was like, can there be any good stuff come out of this? Am I just going to stay sick all the time? Is this all I've got? And even to the point, I saw a doctor, right? I mean, this is just malpractice, in my opinion. I saw a doctor, and he said to me these words. I said, "So what is the outcome? Is there hope?" And he went, "Well," and I don't have any papers to do it. And he rustled some papers, and he went, "Well, Jade, I suggest you put your affairs in order." And I was like, "What? Sorry? What does that mean? What does that even mean?" And me, being stupid me, right, made a joke and went, "But I've never cheated on anybody before." And the doctor just sat there and looked at me like I was already dead. I'm like, that was a joke. It was a joke. Like, for fuck's sake, you just told me I'm going to die, you idiot. What do you want me to fucking say to that? I thought I handled it pretty good. But no reaction. Just complete doctor, cat's anus for a mouth, pursed lips. I'm like, what is going on, dude? You're not helping me, right? You're not helping me here. Anyway, I walked out and I just was like, I'm so shocked at that. I'm so shocked. This guy says there's no hope. I need to get a second opinion. And I did get a second opinion and a third opinion, and they said the complete opposite of that. They said, of course, there's always hope. Like, this is, don't go back there. That guy's a fucking idiot. But what happened was I left there in a fucking mess. And that one way of phrasing things, that one decision he made to say something like that, flipped my whole world upside down. And I went home and was like, I may as well just end my life. What's the point? There's nothing to live for. And that's a really terrible duty of care. And it was from then on that I really started to understand, for the first time in my life, probably since my mum passed away when I was young, what it was like to really start to feel alone and isolated and depressed and really anxious, and I gave up. And I can admit it now that back in 2015, I literally gave up. In my brain, I had decided that I was dead and that I was comfortable with it. I'd resigned myself to it. And in actual fact, that poorly delivered synopsis of my future totally created the next 4 years of a really shit time. Because, I was actually trying to off myself, but without doing anything like that. I would never do that. It's just not in my character. And hopefully none of you ever consider that. And if you do, there are lines, there are people, contact people, always contact people, yeah? But my thing wasn't like I was going to try and do it. And it was going to be a slow burn, yeah? And I was just going to slowly burn my body down. And I don't even think it was a conscious decision of going, right, I'm going to do this and slowly. But it just happened. And years on, I'm at this place where I'm literally grinding myself into the ground, getting sicker and sicker when I actually didn't need to be this sick. Because there's always hope. There's this guy I watch on YouTube, right? And see, I'm guilty of this too. I hear him talking about how when you get sick and you talk about it, how your friends disappear. And I'm kind of doing it to somebody at the moment. Even though I don't know them personally, they're a YouTuber that I'm having trouble watching them die on YouTube. It's actually affecting me, and I can't watch it every day. And the only thing I feel like I can do is that I've done is donate some money because I can't watch it. It's too hard. I've been watching this YouTuber for like fucking 6 years, and he's not going to survive. He's got pancreatic cancer. He's not going to survive. I can't see it happening. The doctors this week alone have told him they're going to stop treatment. It's not working. And I watched him this morning, and I watched 5 minutes, and I just couldn't stop crying. And I don't even know this guy, right? Speaking of YouTube, I don't think, should I even run the ad? Because I'm going to get copyright claimed anyway. I should actually. Let's do this. What we do here is we run an ad at the halfway point of the show. So I'll run this and do it. Hopefully it happens. You may get an ad or you may not, depending on if you are YouTube Premium or, there we go, the ad is Rant. So this guy, I'll show you who he is. There he is. Brian Barczyk is his name. So he used to do a TV show called Snake Bites. If I can get this up here. Snake Bites. So he has a reptarium, yeah? And he's an amazing snake handler, amazing ambassador for reptiles. And he's got pancreatic cancer. And he's like building this amazing aquarium across from his, you can see it just here, this thing, risking everything. And he's desperately trying to build this aquarium before he dies. And at the same time, like when I do watch him now, I used to watch every day religiously for 6 years, every single day, same time, same bat channel. And when I do watch him, the guy, even though it's like he knows he's gone, but he still is telling people to follow their dreams, and he's still pushing hard to make this aquarium happen before he dies, even though it's not looking good. And why am I bringing him up? Because even through all this, he has hope. And the doctors have told him there is no hope, but he has hope. And I'm telling you, if there's anybody out there who's going to like get through, it's going to be him. He's going to do it. Like, this guy is amazing. He projects so much positive energy onto people, you know. Anyway, so where am I? I'm going to get back to my little part of this story that I'm at. And, let's have a look at your comments over here. Wayne says, I wrote the song When I Touch the Sky for my own death, whenever it happens for my kids, after my dad passed away a year ago. I'm same brain. We're not alone. I've got songs like that I've written, hopefully that are for when I die. Greg got an ad for a canola seed. There you go. Off you go, Greg. Always find good doctors, yeah, good doctors. And if you got one that, you know what, you can go to another doctor to get another opinion. Sometimes that opinion is not going to change. You know, if the odds are that this is the thing you have and it's irrefutable. But sometimes it's even better just to have a doctor that's not a prick. You know, you don't want to go through all this shit with a doctor who's a prick. At least, you know, find a physician that you actually think is not a prick. It's hard to do that too when you're down and you're beat down. So when these doctors told me that you're ruined, you can't survive this, I didn't give up. I didn't give up. I cashed in my money that I had saved for retirement, and because that's not going to happen. There is no retirement, is there? There's only the coffin ahead in my brain. So pretty much I just went to try and find doctors, hoping somebody would give me a different opinion. And I spent thousands on this stuff. I went to America and did this stuff even. And got all the way there. And you guys don't even have healthcare over there. I came over there to see your doctors and they said the same thing. Thanks for the money, but same shit, different bucket. And by that stage, let me tell you, I was having seizures. There was some really fucked up shit going on. I'd lost so much. First I put on all this weight because I was on steroids. And because I was transition, I was on estrogen at the same time. Steroids and estrogen at the same time. Can you imagine? My brain was going crazy. I put on so much weight. I was like double the size that I am now. And the only way to get rid of it, I hit drugs. And I started doing coke. And then I hit the meth. And because in my brain, I was like, well, I'm fucked. I'm dead anyway. Like, there's nothing here. I may as well go out. And I found even the medication they were giving me wasn't stopping the seizures. One of the only things it was smoking meth. Can you believe that? It's funny how you find something that you really shouldn't be taking that has so many other bad side effects, but it helps with this one thing. And I know you're probably thinking, yeah, but that's bad. But is it? For somebody at that time who feels like there's no hope, but that's one thing that you're doing that's stopping this thing that's making you feel worse. But by smoking this thing, I'm not having these shakes, these fucking seizures, these things that were happening to me. So in my mind, I just said to the doctor, I'm doing this. And he was like, well, you really shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, yeah, but you sell drugs for acne and the side effects are worse than getting rid of the acne, so I can't really take your word for it, right? Now, I know Jenny's a bit of a doctor herself. The brain, as we're discussing, can do some incredible things, yeah? The brain, because we don't understand it, the brain can actually help you get over things by thinking something's working for you, just by thinking like this is actually working for me. That can help you actually feel better. But I didn't want to. I had given up. I was ready to go. And I was just slowly grinding myself down. And less and less people were in my life. And I kind of liked it at the same time. I can't lie, I kind of liked it. Because I already had enough going on in my head. Because when I talk about loneliness, yeah, it's okay to be alone, right? If you like it. Like currently I live alone. And I swear if I had somebody else living here, I'd probably rip their throat out while they were asleep. Probably would. So it's okay to be alone. Where's my camera doing weird stuff today? Let's try this again. It's okay to be alone if you choose to, but if it's something that you've been isolated or something like that, then it's harder because people push you away. I know, my face all the time, Jenny. So, by the time I got back from America, I'd given up completely. And you know what? I'd lost everything because I'd sold everything off to go see doctors and do all these things, and I had nothing left. And that's when I ended up living in a park and I was homeless. I had nothing. I pretty much had some bags with clothes in it. I had an iPad, a guitar. I was still making music and living in a park. And people would try and come by at night and I'd be like, get the fuck away from me, I'll kill you. I was like a caged animal. I was like a rat eating food out of a bin. How do you go to that? How do you get to that point? It's really... And at that stage, there was nothing. Like, there was nothing left. There was nobody. I had some people online that I'd talked to. I was putting Facebook posts out online. I had at least the internet, and everybody I was telling, help, help, I'm fucked. Nobody was responding. Nobody. I say nobody, but I've told this story before. But there was one person I had who I don't know. I've never met. Never met. Probably never will. And they reached out to me one time randomly when I was in America via an email, and they said in this email that they had seen my song, Do What Makes You Happy, and that in a matter of words, walked them away from the ledge. Right? And when somebody tells you that about your music, making money from being a musician no longer matters. Something you wrote, something you created at a time in your life stopped somebody from walking off a ledge. And that person, who I still haven't met, all the way through up to getting to where I am, not right now, but like about 4 years ago, sent me money randomly to keep me eating when I was constantly just going, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm grinding myself into the ground. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here now. They saved my life, right? Well, that's not entirely true. They kept me, they helped fund to keep me around long enough for me to wake up and find hope again, right? And then I swear it was just this day, because I had nobody, right? I had nobody. And it was just this day where somebody found me and found me there in that place and put their hand out. And that one actually physical like change, because, you know, I had this guardian angel sending me money, keeping me alive because I wrote a song and it helped them years ago. And then this one real person put their hand out and helped me and pulled me out of that hole and put me in a boarding house, put me in hotels, and eventually found this house that I'm living in right now. And ever since then, I want to live as long as I can. And I want to do as much as I can for other people. And I'm in a community of like-minded people because you're all like that. This is what's amazing. You're all like that. That is why this music community, no matter how small it is or how much of a bunch of weirdo misfits we are, works so well. We don't have a set of rules to govern ourselves by. You have to do this or this. There's a natural instinct in all of us here to put our hands out and either raise some money for somebody who's like doing it tough, or to clap for somebody's song, tell them how good they are, or to even reach out and tell them you might need some work on this song. Or just to check in with people. How many times in this community has somebody just checked in with you? Think about it. I'm sure it's happened to many of you. Somebody's reached out and just checked on you. It's happened to me heaps. That's why this community works. Because no matter how much of a bunch of misfits we are, right? We're not alone. We're like-minded. We're creative people. We understand poverty, health problems, sadness and joy. And we write about that stuff. Even if we're not writing words, we write music. And how I look at this community too, it was so special. I used to hear this all the time. People would go, "You're a metalhead. Metal's evil. It's a Satan's work. Satan's work." Heavy metal for me was the one place where if I went to a gig and was bumping into people, doing all that stuff, the biffo to the music, and I fell over, 100 hands came down to pick me up. These are evil metalheads. Oh, get up quick. And that's what we have. We're just a giant mosh pit. We're just a giant mosh pit. And when someone falls down, I see it all the time. I watch. Not only do I sit here every day and talk at you, talk to you, show you things, perform to you, a YouTube dancing monkey, but I watch a lot of what goes on in this community. I may not chat all the time, but I watch a lot of how people react to each other. Yeah? And I see it so much. Everyone is doing the same thing. They're looking out for each other. They're sticking out for each other. Right? It's a really beautiful thing. We're very lucky to have this little community that we have here. It's a piss in the ocean. I kind of wish that the rest of the world kind of got to hang out in our community a little bit. Imagine if we had a lot of people from the outside come in and actually see what's going on here, because it's very special. And more people should be like this. More people should be considerate of each other and take the time to pay attention, because you can tell just by the way people write in text sometimes that they're not doing too good. Yeah? Sometimes people are just full on and go, I'm doing shit. This is going. And sometimes there's just subtle changes in the way people write. Yeah? Yeah? I say yeah a lot, don't I? Yeah? I don't know how I've picked up that thing. Anyway. I really hope people do continue to do this, and hopefully this is a little bit of a reminder to just look out for each other a little bit, yeah? Pay attention. It's not all about our songs, yeah? Sure, we all make great music and it's great to support each other, but sometimes it's a little bit more important to pay attention to what the people are saying in that chat. You never know what you're missing. It's very important to pick people up and reach out, shoot somebody a message and just say, "Hey, you going okay?" And on the opposite scale too, don't feel like you can't reach out to somebody, but try and do it. Think about this. I will give you some advice. Try and remember, we're all in different time zones. So if you send me a message saying I'm not doing so good and I don't get back to you straight away, it's probably because I'm asleep. So remember that. And never give up. Never give up. I say that I had given up. 100%. I really had given up. But I was still writing music, and some of that music that I was writing was still very hopeful. So even though my brain had given up, I was still writing the stuff that had hope. Yeah? So, yeah? All right, I'm going to close it because this one's it's heavy. It's a heavy discussion today. Mix Up says, somehow when Jade looks at the camera dead on, I have to think, did I do it? You did! I love having a camera this close because you can make a point by moving around and being animated, yeah? Instead of just sitting there and being like a stunned mullet. Seek help when you need to from trusted people. Social media dumps rarely help. Yeah, look, I made that mistake. Just banging at something out there. Pete, you were on my friends list when that was going on. That was happening. You've seen it. You know Pete. Pete, my good friend Peter Johns, who's up next with YML, he was my friend during all of that stuff. I had just joined his channel. We'd become friends on Facebook. He saw some of the stuff I was writing about. It was very real. I was homeless. Pete, you'd remember. I was living in women's refuges. They were moving me around. It's pretty dire. I'd given up, man. Proper love you too, Mr. Smith. But the thing is, I'm not here to like gloat or do anything like that, but just to remind you too. Things get better. They do. And, you know, depression, and I never want to take anything away from people being depressed. Depression exists. Anxiety exists. All these things exist. They're real. Try and remember there's a reason why we hit rock bottom sometimes. Well, there is a reason. Because you can't get any lower. Who's that band who had that song? The only way is up, baby. We hit rock bottom. There's only one way to go, right? And you can get there. You can get there. Trust me. You can get there. Because there's always hands in the mosh pit that will help pull you up. That is the truth. The only way is up. I'll give you the only way is up, Manny from the Lily Pillies, when I go and have coffee with you tomorrow. Hey? Yaz and the plastic population. There you go. That's who it was. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for that kind super chat. So, as I said, I'm going to steal Pete's thing. Be kind to each other. And yourself. And yourself. Take time to look after yourself and do the things that make you happy. I say it all the time on this show. Do the things that make you happy. Yeah, mistakes make you better. They're just mistakes that come and go. But the most important thing is we all rise together, yeah? Look out for each other. Rise. Bring each other up. Now, I said at the start of the show, I'm sacrificing this show to make money from it today because I want to play this video that I made. So I have this series. It's pinned to the top of the chat if you'd like to go and watch the whole series. I made this while I was in a bad way. And what I did was I used really old facial recognition technology and I created a whole bunch of characters and I made these short films about depression, anxiety, isolation. And I played the part of these characters. And it's pinned to the comments if you want to go see it. It's long. I think there's 6 episodes. I'm going to play you the first one today to go out with. And the reason it's going to get acclaim is the music I used from somebody else because it was great music and it really suited the video. So this is about a character I created named Craig, and it has somebody else's face over the top of my face, and I'm acting and creating this story about this character. But it's real. It's actually what was going on. So enjoy. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Jenny. I'll see you tomorrow. Pete's up next. And I've just got word from Pete, it looks like. Let me tell you this. Oh, let me just double check before I go. Pete's messaged me. Has he said yes? Should be able to make the occasion. Pete is joining me tomorrow after his GarageBand Weekly show, and we are going to do something we've never done before here on this channel. We are going to do the Apple Live event watch-along. You won't see it live, but you can watch it, but listen to me and Pete talk utter shit about it while it's happening. It's going to be funny as hell. All right. There you go. That's happening tomorrow after Pete's GarageBand show. Let's play this. This is called What Happened to Us. See you tomorrow. Yeah, well, I'm like everybody else, you know. I'm on antidepressants, anxiety. Everyone's like it. It's not just me because I've been a druggie or a thief or anything like that. The whole world's like it. Why is that? It's because the whole world's gone to hell. People don't care about each other. People just want to stand on you. They don't give a fuck if you live or die. They're too busy worried about themselves. And yet all along, they can't see they're being led astray like puppets, sheep. Apparently we're more connected than ever. Bloody Facebook, Twitter and all this stuff. I feel more isolated and more unconnected than ever in my entire life. I don't need your bloody likes. I don't need your bloody comments, thumbs up and shit like that. People just need someone to talk to, hold on to, and show that they genuinely care. That doesn't happen anymore. I don't know what's wrong with people. They've just become robots or zombies. Why are there so many homeless people? Why? Not everyone's lost their job and become homeless. Why do people just walk over them? Like they don't even exist. They're people. I've been there. They're bloody people. And people just walk over them like they're a nuisance, like they're in their way. They're there for a reason. They're not there to rob you. I just don't understand what's wrong. I genuinely think people have just lost the skills on how to connect with each other, how to verbalise how they're feeling, how to tell the truth about what's wrong with them. They're afraid they're going to be judged. And why is that? Why are people so scared that they're going to be judged by another person who's probably dealing with exactly the same or even worse problems than what you are? How have we gotten this way? How do we get back? Did we ever care about each other? Ever? It bloody seems like we never did. I can't even go outside and look at other people. I used to think it was me that had the problem. I think I still do. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to see what the human race is. Well, it's bloody easy, isn't it? It's bloody time to start caring about each other. Start asking how we're going. Ask if you can lend a hand, or even put your hand out to people. Because people are there to help. We've got to walk away from bloody Facebook and everything else that's separating us from each other. And tell each other that we really care. And then maybe we can work together and make things better for everybody. Just maybe.
We'll all rise together, 'cause you make me shine better.